Welcome to another edition of the Talking Basketball podcast. I am Mark.
I am Paul.
We're in a noisy place today.
We are, Mark. We are.
How noisy is it here?
Recording from Ravelin.
That's right. Well, you can hear in the background, ladies and gentlemen, and minors, because we know we have many, many little people listening as well.
It's disappointment.
It is disappointment. It's the sound of disappointment. We had a game cancelled tonight. And are we going to publicly, we're not shaming, but there was a game, and it's Portsmouth Force versus Kent, I believe.
Yeah, it was the Kent Panthers, and we thought rather than do the whole game thing, we thought, well, let's do a podcast. We're here, we watched the National League Under-18 game, and we got the men. I don't know if they're doing who they're playing, or they got a couple of newbies here, I think, and they're just going to do a bit of a showcase for the spectators who have just turned up.
I mean, that is a real shame. We talked about it actually with Rob, didn't we, Mr. Chairman, when we were saying, and his brother Tom, how when people go to a basketball game, a lot of people don't realise the back office and everything that goes onto it. Like, they've had to pay for the court, they've had to pay for everything tonight. Even if the game gets cancelled and it's out of their control, there's still costs, there's still things that go out.
There's a huge financial impact.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as an example, like, it isn't too bad if you have more notice, but when you get told, like, I think it was 10 o'clock last night is when it started.
Is that what it was?
It's like, it's a huge juggernaut ball rolling down a hill. You can't stop what's going on. So,
do we know, is it not to say legit, or I'm not publicly out on them, but was it just they couldn't fill the team?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it could be a multiple of things, but yeah, usually reading between the lines, it's, I think, I don't know what they said, the game is cancelled, but yeah, reading between the lines, as a player, you know what it's like. You're short of a couple of players. Some players have had too much time partying, at Christmas, and they need to get on the treadmill.
Those are the games I got to play. They're the games I got to play. That's why I advocated the drinking, because then I didn't, and then I got to go on the court, and they were like, oh. Yeah.
I actually think their team is probably in trouble, and the reason I say that is because they're giving Portsmouth the win. They're just saying, having the win. So basically, they're just saying they can't be bothered to come down to Portsmouth. And look, let's face it, Kent is only 2 hours away.
Yeah, 2.25.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, I think it's M20, 25, A3. It's not too bad. I almost watched a ball crush a child. That was interesting. Yeah, it is a shame with that. And you said, is it the 20-0 win? Have we confirmed that? Is it 20-0 that it actually gets?
Again, look, there's enough people. We'll get on. We've got a spare mic, so we'll get people on as and when.
Because my question would be, last year,
a coach question, I think.
Last year, there was a whole thing with Portsmouth, and the points difference actually made a difference, didn't it?
Yeah, now imagine you get a 20-0 and you
miss out by
1 point.
This is what I'm saying. What happens in that case? Because surely then you go, well, they didn't turn up. But let's be fair, how many times are they going to beat a team by 20? They have beaten teams by more than 20.
Yeah, so I can't recall what it was, but there was a huge 50-60 point win at home towards, I want to say, it was second or third game of the season, wasn't it?
Yes.
But look, what is, I think, which is like fantastic about the club, which people don't appreciate, is first of all, Mark, I'm back. This is the first time I'm on the podcast back live.
He's brought
his, you know what I mean?
He's brought his smell with him, which is fantastic. Which is always not been missed. That was the game.
115-54. Yeah, look, I mean, you beat a team by 70 points. That is makes a big difference.
It does. And then there's other wins where it's only like 15, 20 or so.
We're having
it's a bit of a dunk competition here.
A dunk demonstration, a presentation.
Are you getting up there?
Victor Babalola.
Are you getting up there? Can you touch the net now?
I think two moments in my life I touched a ring.
Do you remember when
they were questionable?
Do you remember when you were a kid and you touched the ring?
Hey, we got Ollie Blake here. Ollie, you want to come on and have a chat with us? Yeah, if you want.
Pull up a few.
Here we go. Yeah, move that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we got Ollie Blake with us now, captain of the Portsmouth Force. Like, Ollie, we're just saying, like, you know, I think from everyone we're disappointed that there isn't a game on today.
Yeah.
And there's a financial impact. What about from a player's perspective? Like, I guess you guys would have been pumped up for this, and now it's like, all right, that's one less home game. Oh, hang on.
Is that
you're now
good?
on. You're now on.
Yeah, no, of course it's disappointing, but the annoying thing is the short notice. Obviously, to find out, well, we found out this morning, and it kind of throws off. You prepare for it, and we trained Thursday and Friday night ready for today, and it just kind of, we had a good bit of momentum, and it's frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. Like, we have injured guys who can now rest more. Like, obviously we've all just been off for Christmas, and we've all got a lot of, like, the uni students have gone home, so like guys like us can have another week to build up our fitness and more time to just make sure we're ready to go. But it's annoying. It is very annoying, but I guess you just have to find positives and get on with it, really.
Yeah, I think it's probably, maybe it's more disappointing from a fan perspective, because I know this was a sellout tonight, so I think we were looking at like 450 plus maybe. I think we were looking at a possible record for the actual court here at Ravelin. So definitely I've been talking to a lot of some of, you know, the Force fans, and they're just like, oh man, I was so looking forward to that game, because the last one we had was beginning of December, so it's been a month.
We had one game in December, and then so we basically had one home game in the last like month and a half now. That is the annoying part, I think, because our home games, it's not like we don't just play in some random gym with 20 people, and we have, like, it builds the club up every time. So like, I coach at a school nearby, and this kid there called Lucas, and he comes to every home game. I see him every Friday. I look forward to seeing him on the Saturday. So them kind of things where you look forward to seeing certain people and building like a connection with the fans and stuff, and all the people that come support us, which obviously we appreciate so much. And like, I think it's got to the point now where we're almost more excited to play in front of our crowd than it is to actually play basketball. You almost forget that I sometimes forget I'm about to play basketball. I'm just excited for the whole atmosphere and everything, and so that's the disappointing part. And obviously I know people would have been looking forward to it. I knew people that were travelling to come watch it, and it's just I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just disappointing, really, from like all different perspectives. But I mean, like I said, there's not much we can do now. So
I know what you mean. It's one less home game, and the home games are exciting.
So much
and
fun.
They're
There's
fun.
so much fun.
Yeah.
But
And you know what? Not that anyone knows this other than a few of us, but we were going to try a few different things tonight. So we were looking at like different music intros, and we had done some like, not choreography, but we had worked something out with Blue.
Yeah.
He was going to start the banging of a drum, getting everyone clapping, and then the music was going to kick into that. We were going to turn the lights down. We were actually going to do like player introductions for the starting five as you walked on the court. It was just things that really I picked up on when I was in Australia with the Adelaide 36ers. That I was like, that's such a good idea. We got to do that. We got to do that. So I'm a little disappointed myself, because it's like there's things that I wanted to try. It's a shame there isn't another team that could come in. I know we were trying to get the Fury, but we couldn't.
Well, that's the thing with the short notice, because I spoke to Rob and Andy, and they were saying they found out last night at 10 o'clock. And at 10 o'clock on a Friday night, when you have less than 12 hours to prepare, it's cool that we can put something on, like a scrimmage, and it's nice that we have a lot of people here. And obviously it was good to see the under-18 game, but I guess you can't replicate, the excitement of a match. So
yeah. What I would also say is, I think what you don't get, and I am so confident saying this, you don't get this in any other National League Division 3 setup, where you have a scrimmage basically between like the Force, the players, but you've got, I don't know, anywhere between 50 to 100 people watching a scrimmage. I mean, you don't get that anywhere else.
No, you probably wouldn't even get that at Division 2 or I don't know.
One.
You'd barely get this.
No, scrimmage. You got the mascot Blues running around somewhere. I don't know what he was up to mischief. Playing around as well. So, it's a bit. Oh, there he is. He's over there. For the people who don't know the game's been cancelled, who are turning up, he's doing like a meet and greet with them. So, I think it's. And this is where the problem is, and this is what I was just saying to Mark before you came on with, it is kind of like the organisation is bigger than Division 3 easily.
Way bigger.
And it's not something like you can turn off like a tap. So when you build this stuff up, like another Division 3 team, you cancel. Okay, cool. It's just the court cost. What? £50, £100, done.
Yeah.
Here it's like, okay, the financial implications are probably closer to £600-700, I imagine.
At least, yeah.
I don't know what the court is, but yeah, I mean, we'll get Rob on and ask him later. But
because it doesn't get, this game now just doesn't happen. It's not like it gets postponed or the tickets move forward to next game, and we still obviously hired the court. So obviously for Rob, there's not much you can do. But I guess I'm just trying to sort of see it as positive as possible. I mean, the fact we have no game, and like you said, we still have a scrimmage going on. We still have kids here. We still have people watching, and like it shows. It still shows there's a lot of positive things to be positive about, but obviously the main feeling is it's just disappointing though.
Okay. And look, hey, who's number 15? I just saw him reject Israel Bello there. Who's that?
Yeah, he's Lucas. He's just come over from. He plays Solent Uni.
Okay.
He was at Bognor, so he has actually played here this year for Bognor. He's very good. He's gonna be very helpful for us. He's a versatile big. He's another layup line dunker.
Joining the Force?
Yeah, he got registered over Christmas, so we'll have him add some size.
Oh, no.
He's
There's
another
an exclusive right there. There we go.
Hang on, we got an exclusive. Yeah. Come on, where's that one? So what's his name again?
Lucas.
That
is a good question. I don't know his surname.
Lucas,
but
that is a good question.
Yeah.
And then we'll have his surname.
But no, he's going to be very good, and he'll be another exciting player as well.
Yeah, that is an exclusive. You can't hear this, but we got music playing.
Yeah.
Lucas, number 15.
Number 15.
Joining the Portsmouth Force. And they've actually got multi-ball going on here. What's going on?
Wow.
They're actually playing multi-ball. This is a coaching first by Coach Dan. You know what? It's an actual interesting dynamic, really, isn't it?
It is.
So there's 2 balls in the actual game.
So Ollie, I just fielded this to Paul. Because of this, you now get the win and plus 20 points. But you've beaten teams by more than 20 points this year.
Yeah.
Last year, it came down to a points difference. What happens? Do you know what happens in the scenario that it will come down a points difference again?
So yeah, I asked Andy. We'll get.
I knew you'd find out.
I already knew. We'll get a 20-0 win.
Yeah.
And then we basically there's not much we can do besides hope. So we don't know for sure. Because I think this is very unlikely. But if we have the same record as someone and same points difference, it can come down to points scored. And obviously we would have scored a lot more than 20 points.
Yes.
But I think the chance of it coming down to exact same record and exact same points difference is quite low. But obviously, if it does, then we're just.
Was it
happened last year?
Was it Kent? It was Kent. But it was different ones, wasn't it?
It was so annoying.
It was the Kent Crusaders.
It was the Crusaders, wasn't it, last year?
Took the last playoff spot, which the Ports were gunning for, and they got it by 11-point, baskets.
Yeah, which if we missed out on points scored, that would be that's so annoying.
Yeah,
but
it comes down. I think Crawley look really good. They look really good.
Yeah.
If you guys can get anything from that, but then you've also got the Kent Crusaders.
I think Crawley are
not Kent Crusaders. Who's the other Crusaders?
Canterbury. They were the team we played just before Christmas.
We got Blue.
They were an academy, weren't they?
Wiping his backside and then giving high fives to people. Classic Blue.
Disgraceful.
Classic Blue.
Disgraceful.
He's having a good time.
Yeah, was Canterbury the ones who play under the academy,
Canterbury,
aren't they?
Canterbury have a very good academy setup, and then so their under-8 teams and a couple of their under-19s play on a men's team. So they have like a young guy called Timothy Obo. Anyone who's quite big into English basketball will probably know of him. He plays England and GB, and he was 6'10". He was a good player. So they'll be tough. Kent Crusaders obviously beat us here. They're tough. And then Crawley, another good team. But I also think we've got a lot better as the season's gone on. I think if people could see the footage from our game at Canterbury, it was our last game before Christmas. It's you compare that to what we were at the start of the year. It's just 2 different teams. So We're feeling very confident, to be honest, for the last half.
How do you get, as in a captain's role, how do you get that dynamic of the team working together? Because that's, like when you see the NBA, you see the super teams, and you see, we've put 4 amazing players together. You go, now the challenge is getting them all to work together, sort of thing. So how do you do that?
I mean, for me, it's sort of, some of it's natural. So like every team that's new players. So we had some guys from last year, but I think this year we're mostly a new team. You naturally go through the stages, like you form as a team. You have times we maybe not literally fight each other, but you bicker and you get frustrated, and then you come through it. You maybe pick up a couple losses, and then you come through it and you come together. I think that's natural for any team. I have that with the university team, I have that with this team, and we had it last year with this team as well. But I think there's also, the earlier you can set standards, the earlier you can kind of make sure everyone's on the same page, like this is our goal, this is, so I remember saying, I think it was at the practice you joined in at, I remember saying to everyone, like, it was before our first game season, like, there are no excuses anymore. Like, from now on, if we lose, it's not on the coach, it's not on the refs, it's not on anyone, it's on us. And we have to take that responsibility, and that probably takes some time to settle in. And then it's also, we have to look at it and know that there's like 84 teams in Division 3. We want to go up, so we have to be in the top 4. So you need to be more efficient and better than 81 other teams at least. And so that means when you train, you have to train like you want to be better than everyone else. You have to watch film more than anyone else. You have to communicate better than anyone else. And it's tough to do, but that's why there's a reason only 4 teams go up. And
top 5%.
Yeah, you have to do a lot to be in that 4.
Is that your expectation for the season?
That was, obviously because we've now got 2 losses.
Yeah.
Last year 2 losses wouldn't have got you up. So we don't. Obviously, it's a different. Everything's different this year. So who knows? But
I did have a quick look. There's 13 teams in Division 3 standings over the, North, East, and London, and all that. There are 13 teams that have got 0 or 1 loss.
So it's out of our hands to get promoted, but it's not out of our hands to make the playoffs. So you just have to readjust, and we just try and win every single game because we are desperate to make. I'd love to have a playoff game here. That would be so much fun. But also, we want to put Portsmouth on the map. Like, we've only obviously existed for about a year and a half, but we want people to know more about us. And we're obviously doing a lot of things right, and all the surrounding stuff helps that. But for us, it's just, what can we do to make sure we're better than we were last year, or better than we were last week, if anything, just to keep getting better, because we can still make the playoffs, we can still get a good seed.
Yeah.
And you never know. If things go away, maybe you get promoted. You just never know. So,
look, I can't out. Look, what the hell? What is Blue doing down there? This is a scrimmage game. He's on his hands and knees, diving around like this is a playoff game. What's he doing?
He's busting some shapes, that's for sure.
He is. That is why this club is so great. It's because you got a mascot who's entertaining 50 people in a scrimmage game.
I mean, just going on that one, if you take a home game, obviously you've got a difference between a home game and an away game.
Yeah.
But how much different is it from a player's perspective having a crowd behind you as opposed to?
You can't really explain it until you've been in it, because the away games are just they're sort of what you expect from Division 3. There's maybe anywhere from 25 to 100 people. They're not there's no unison in the crowd. They're just watching. They're just kind of, they might have a drum or a tambourine or something, but it's
family
nothing.
And friends kind of scenario.
And it's just it is nothing. Whereas here, this is what I say no. These sometimes feel like more than a basketball game. There's so much more going on, but with them, it's kind of just. I mean, it's hard. You have to get motivated by yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to bring your own energy, because it's not going to come from anywhere else. Whereas here, the energy comes from from us, but also from the people watching. It's a completely different thing. It's almost I think made some of us probably I can't think of the right word, but maybe even a bit arrogant, because then when I play university games and I'm not in front of these fans, it's not the same.
You get complacent with having that around.
because you get used to how much fun it is. So it is without a doubt the best thing about, for my personal experience with basketball, is the best thing I've ever done is playing for this team and playing in front of these fans. So and I think it excites. That's why people come here from Bognor and from Solent, because there's not really, you don't get this in many places really.
Last season,
break a player.
You said it. After doing all the setup and doing all the stuff from last season, there was a game the one that sticks in my head was when I think it was Adam Riabi, and there's one.
You mean Zach?
Zach, sorry.
Zach, yeah.
And literally, you guys just sort of found a flow, and then he came up and hit this monster three.
I think that was Oxford.
And it was,
Oxford. Went into
the
overtime.
crowd were just
Oxford,
up, and everyone was behind it, and everything going. And afterwards, Paul was like, "It's just like totally worth doing all this and putting all that effort in." That just changed that game dynamic, and then you guys
100%.
just had this like second wind, and you went off.
Do you know what I actually really enjoy for the home games is that these guys know what to expect.
Yeah.
They know, okay, you got 300, 400 people come down to watch them. You guys know what's coming.
Yeah.
But watching your faces first couple of games last year, we know you could, as a player, I can see, I know what you're thinking, like, oh, holy crap, like there's a bit of pressure on here. But now you guys very quickly got used to that. But what I love is the faces that you guys pulled before you had that. You see the away team doing it, and some of them relish in getting booed and perform sometimes better, sometimes absolutely you see them crumble where they're like, oh crap, I can't deal with that. It's great to sit back and watch that psychology.
I think like when we first had it, at least for me, I found it was quite nerve-wracking, and like it's almost pressure. But then now they're not really people. We feel like they're not people just watching us; they're like supporting us. So that kind of gives you a nice boost, really. But it is, now that we all know that they're here to support us, and also I've got more used to it. So like I sometimes know like what kind of music is you're going to play. I'm used to the songs you play. I'm used to like the little sort of, I don't know, just the little things that go on when I'm dribbling up and down the court, and we just get used to it. But it is honestly, like us players can't thank you guys enough for doing this, because it makes the whole experience of us playing way better.
It was your face that made me turn around and went to my brother sat next to me, Mark was next to him, and I turned around to these guys and went, we're doing the right thing here. Because the first time we did it, Portsmouth won the tip, and you brought the ball up, and we started with the first in-game sound of dun, 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 or whatever it was. And your face coming towards us, like at one end of the court, just lit up. And it was like, this is now feels for you guys like an NBA game. And your face lit up, and I turned around to these guys and just went, look, with that, look at his face, we're doing the right thing. It's just changed the dynamic of the game.
It does. It makes it more entertaining for us, but also like on any of my friends who come watch it, like they might not particularly like basketball themselves, but it's just it makes it enjoyable for everyone. Like people come watch not just for the basketball. It's like it's a whole experience being here. It's not just for people who like basketball. It can be like that's why you get so many kids here and families, and like people will just come watch because they know they're going to be entertained. I mean, that's why people like basketball out in America, and they have all these things going on, games. Music things, and now we have it here. So
I took a girl about 20 plus years ago to a basketball game an NBA game. She didn't know what even shape of basketball was, but the atmosphere sold it.
100%.
And it was just like, and just watching the mascots, watching everyone react, and just everyone's having a good time. You just enjoy the experience of it. It's more than and then when you see the connection between like community and team and everything that goes around it, that's like just like echoing you. It's just, it's nice to see.
Sorry, Alex Grant has just clotheslined Blue, the mascot.
This might be the most bizarre training session I've ever seen.
So you've got, I don't know, loads of young kids all playing, what's this called? Knockout or gotcha? I don't know. Where you dribble the ball and try to knock the other balls out against the entire team. So we've got about 50 people on the court at the moment dribbling the ball.
I'll be honest, if I was out there now, I'd be trying to swipe all the balls off the kids and teaching them a life lesson.
Harsh.
I'd be harsh, ruthless. Absolutely. Let them learn.
Wow, Blue just hit a shot. He's trying to impress Coach Dan there.
So when we're getting you on the show, Ollie?
Whenever, really. I'd happily come on whenever.
Yeah, whenever you want.
Get him comfy.
He's good. Hey, you sound good. We can hear it. You sound
that's a good start.
Well, you'll hear it. But yeah, so who's up next? It's an away
Worthing.
trip now.
We've got Worthing next week, and then I know we're back here in 3 weeks against Brighton. I don't know if there's a game in between, but it's definitely Worthing next week, and then Brighton in 3 weeks. I don't think there's one in between. But obviously, we're gonna have to fit in the same team that didn't play today. We didn't play them away either, so we've got to find a date for that. So we.
I mean, look, they don't turn up here. I don't know.
Well, we might. I don't know if we'll get. I think that one was supposedly down to refs.
I think they get pulled out of the league.
They might do. I don't know enough about it, but.
But if you're at a position where you're like, oh, we haven't got enough players, and this is something that I generally don't get. Like,
we saw that in the BBL. We actually saw some games in the BBL where people were they were playing fielding a team of 8. Weren't there? There was a couple of games we're like, how can you be the top
professional
league
basketball
and you've only got 8 people that you're fielding?
I don't know.
It's insanity.
I think it's bad to even be at this level and not put a team together at this level is quite. I've not really heard that before.
There's always someone who can play.
Yeah, BBL. That's. They can just get a fan to play. I'm sure someone would happily step up.
Well, the only thing I did from my day were, I mean, this was, with Mickey Byrne was the head coach of the Portsmouth National League team in those days. There was a slightly different mentality. It was like forget holidays. It was like if you went, Mick, I'm going on a holiday. It's like, you want to play National League basketball or what? That's kind of the mentality. You kind of, the games didn't get cancelled. If you fielded 8 or less players, you got a fine. I don't know if that's what it's like still now.
I don't know.
I think it might have only been like 50. Oh, we almost got hit by a ball. I think it was like a £50 or £100 fine if you had less than 8 players.
I don't know. I know that Andy was saying that we're going to try. I think Kent are somewhat liable for some money for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know at Bucks level, I think like D1 level, if you don't play, if our Portsmouth Uni team couldn't field a team, and we get a walkover, we lose a point in the tables. Also, so this would be like Kent. If the equivalent of this would be Kent losing 3, so I think you get 3 for a win in this league. So they might get a points deduction.
I'm going to put.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know though. I don't actually know the rules for men's.
I reckon they'll pull out the league.
Pardon?
I think if I'd put money on it, I'm going to put it out of the league. They're cancelling home games. They're not turning up to away games. But I think it's disappointing for the league, and I think it's disappointing for Basketball England because look, this is National League basketball. Like this is where we're talking semi-professional basketball now, and teams don't turn up.
Yeah, look, we did that.
Refs don't turn up.
We did it in local league.
What are we talking about? Local league, I'd think, oh, okay.
Yeah, but even local league
pulls out. What National League? What are you talking about? That's why the mentality with Mick was like, you're doing it or you're not. Like, look, it's bizarre when the team doesn't turn up. I think
it was 4 years. It was just before we went away to the States, and Fury were running like a few people short because there was injuries. And jokingly, they went, grab your kit. And I was like, all right. And then, like, literally, we just need someone to run on, hold it, stand there. Like, fine, I'll do that. I haven't played in, like, 10 years. It doesn't matter. Because you just get... And that was a local league. It's,
Hey, it's a different mentality. I remember I had a torn calf muscle, could not walk. I was put on the sheet, and it was like, worst case, I'll stand there.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so... And funnily enough, people got fouled out, and I went on the court and just stood there. It was like, look...
It's a shame as well because I don't know if you know much about them, but their owner, like a player owner, is Ryan Richards. I don't know if you guys know who he is.
No.
He's an NBA draftee. He's been playing pro in Europe or just around the world for a while.
Oh no!
So that would have been cool for people to watch. Right? He's just a very, very good player. There's a reason you don't get drafted into the NBA if you're not very good, and he's usually plays for them. And he owns the club as well.
I bet any money he couldn't make it. I bet any money he couldn't make it, or another guy can make it.
Maybe he's got drafted by London Lions because they're buying anyone who's ex-NBA at the moment.
We'll rearrange that.
I don't know.
Well, that is a shame for you guys if you're looking forward to it and you get that last-minute call. That really does suck.
It is a shame, but oh well.
Well, what I want to do is I can see Chairman Rob Milner. I'm going to try and get him on.
I can go and collect him.
We want to talk to him about the financial implications of this because.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's tonight and it moves on. But from a fan's perspective, you might have people just turn around and go, oh, I was looking forward to that. And the next one, oh, you know what? And I think sometimes with games it builds and builds and builds.
Yep.
And I think there's a bigger financial impact than just this night.
Well, he would explain it much better than me. I spoke to him briefly and he was saying that he said it would probably cost the club around a grand. Because it's the court hire, it's the tickets. So the tickets are sold for this game, move on to next game. So next game you don't sell any tickets, and the fact that all of that is when none of it's our fault is just, it's just. And you're right, it does build momentum. People come to one game and go, oh, that was so fun. I'll come the next one, and then, or people might be put off, and even though not a single thing about this was our fault, which is the frustrating part. But I mean. He will know that a lot better than I do. So.
It'd be good to add another fixture at the end of the season, and I did have an idea. The Portsmouth Force take on the old National League Portsmouth Smugglers.
Wow.
I'd be there.
Some of them are still around. Like,
really?
You got Ryan Payne. We had him on the show.
Yeah.
Clayton Milner. He's in Southampton. The Teasdale brothers. I don't know if they're injured, but I don't know. There's the Teasdale brothers there. You got Steve Davison.
I'm just thinking how many ice packs.
He's lights out as well.
How many ice packs we're going to need on the sideboard, just on there? They're going to be like a bin full of ice packs. Look, every substitution, everyone's going to be sat there like, come on.
And Andy Young and Harry Vesey were like two quality, rock solid Alex Grants.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
I don't know if they're all still playing, but I think it's a great idea.
I would be down for it. I think all of us would be, so why not? We did this one with Solent, so it could be a similar kind of thing.
But I'd
different pace.
Yeah,
if we're playing against
Portsmouth,
Portsmouth, I'd have to press the noises when they score as well. And I could introduce myself. You're an outside. Number 10.
Get out of the seat.
That's what it's going for then. You just want to introduce yourself, then run on.
Well, you'll have to take over. You'll have to do it.
Yeah, that's great. You don't want to hear what I'm going to say about it.
I said because we played a football game. We had like a team bonding football game. I said to Andy, our team manager, what we really would love to do is play a charity or friendly game on Fratton Park against some sort of local football team. That would be fun. That's what loads of us want to do, like an end of season on Fratton Park.
Yeah, do it at the end of the season so you don't all just get completely hammered legs.
We can become a multi-sport team.
Right. Well, we're going to see if we can get.
So I'll go and
see if we can get Rob.
I'm on a mission.
But we need to get you on the show. So
yes.
You let us know.
Just let me know and I'll be there.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Ollie, thanks for coming on. Cheers for that, mate. If I'll grab that off you. Well, you know what? Ollie's now just leaving us. But you know what? Just look around, Mark. This is why the club's great. Look at the community you got here. You've got, 30 young kids who come to support, this team. And now on the court, playing in like a little scrimmage. Whilst Alex Grant is shooting on his own down one end of the
very
court.
Reminiscent of years gone by, dare I say, where it's sort of you got all the youngsters mixing with the team. It's nice to see. It's nice for people to remember there is a transition. There is you start at this age, you work up to this age, you end up. There's a National League team that you can see that trajectory. It's nice for all the kids to see that, and for all their parents to be reminded of it. That yes, there is a game. Yes, there is a sort of thing, but also it is about a community. It is about actually everyone here likes basketball. Everyone here wants to enjoy it.
Yeah. Hey, look at
here he is.
Chairman Rob Milner coming down.
You heard his
with
name.
His Portsmouth Force vest.
Representing.
Rob, you can buy those tops now online, can't we?
You can communicate with me online, and then we can get them delivered to any of these sessions. Yeah, £25 for a Portsmouth Force men's vest,
nice.
£20 for a kids vest,
Or just get it on game day.
or come on game day. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Del boy, put it away.
And
Well,
this is
to
what
be
we like
fair,
players doing
we-
suicides.
Yeah,
That's what we
the
wanna see.
merchandise is really key to keep establishing the identity of what we're doing.
Well, that's one of the things we want to talk to you about, like today.
Identity.
Not just identity, but, you know, this has been a bit of a financial hit.
Oh, so yeah, really, really hard. Like,
It reminds me of the game last season when the rest didn't turn
yeah,
up as
exactly.
well.
Yeah, it's the same process that we've been through. So it costs us £500, give or take, to put on this event at Ravelin. That
Yeah.
£500 is for the use of the court and for the bleachers.
Yeah.
If we don't have a fixture, that £500 we're still committed to. Then on top of that, you sell tickets, and in this case we've done a donation day and Up To You, which is a brilliant idea. It worked. People wanted to come in, and some people donated £1. One guy donated 50 quid for a ticket. Like, it's great.
wow.
Just donate whatever you want to
That's
do.
brilliant.
Come
And it
in.
probably works out better, I'd imagine, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, because we've never got to see it through, but I think it's not far off, but it works. And I want people to be able to come in and pay £1, whatever. But the point is that
That's a great idea.
we had to defer that money that people have paid for today to the next game on the 27th of January. So now we've not only lost the income, we've had an expense of the court hire. So you're talking about a swing of about £1,000. It's about £1,000.
And obviously, the games, when you play home games, part of that not only props up the home game, but your travelling games as well.
100%. Yeah,
So
exactly.
you've got a game in between.
These guys are our Portsmouth Force senior side. As professional as they look and play, they're not professional players. And everything costs money. Training sessions cost money. Like, you know, some of it, they pay a subscription to come and play in front of a crowd, which is, you know, a lot of people don't realise that because of how professional it looks.
Rob, sorry, can I just put a pause in that? How do you feel as chairman of Portsmouth Force, looking on this court now, watching this on a day where a game has been cancelled? You got about 100 people here watching a scrimmage, and now you've got the Portsmouth youth on the court being taught in how to warm up, how to bounce the ball by your Portsmouth Force players.
It's surreal. It's surreal.
It's great,
To
isn't it?
realise that we're actually creating a community is the most important thing. Like, I never ever want us to be thought of as a profit-making cash cow organisation, because that's the furthest thing away from my thoughts. In everything that we do, it's all about community. And like you say, we've got not only the players. So we've played before. If a game gets cancelled, the first thing a player wants to do is go, "Great, I've got a Saturday night off. I'm going to the pub. I don't have to play." But obviously, Coach Daniel's gone, "Right, the game's cancelled, but I still like you can come down and do a scrimmage." Now we know if a player says, "Do you know what, Coach? That's not for me. Whatever. I'm not coming down." That's almost to be expected. But I think we've got a full squad. I can't see that I'm missing any.
No, I think, you've got like, I want to say that, I think I've counted 12 or 14 players here.
I think I've got a full squad. So, like, and our big star players are all here.
And you got a new player in
Lucas.
Lucas. What's his surname?
I don't know.
Everyone said the same thing. He's just going to be Lucas. I don't know.
Lucas, I don't know.
Number 15.
Yeah, he was at Bognor, right?
I don't know.
I think he was at Bognor.
I don't know. It's the first time I've seen
Yeah,
him.
I think he was at Bognor, and he's been on the Kestrel's books.
It just looks like he's gelling quite nicely with the players.
He's got
and
an air of
some nice
confidence.
camaraderie as well. Yeah.
But yeah, so if these players are coming back and going, "Do you know what, the game's cancelled, but I'm still committed to the community," then that feeds on to the kids and the parents. So like, look at these parents out on the sideline. Like, I'm sure a lot of them, in my head, I'm thinking, "Oh, they must have better things to do on a Saturday," but maybe this is the better thing.
What do you mean maybe? Of course it's the better thing.
And we're living it. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm overwhelmed with this support. And we're still so young, right?
Yeah.
Like so young. But the main thing that today has shown really is that we are not a div-free club.
The organisation is not a Div 3. I'm going to say it like
Basketball,
how I feel it, if you don't mind
100%.
It's just my view, but the organisation is a Division 1 club. The setup's there, again, like you said, a team pulls out, all right, that's going to cost us $1,000 with everything going on. The sound is got to be in the top, 2% in the country, easily.
Agreed.
And the entertainment side of things like that. From a player, and this is why I paused, I think from a player's perspective, yeah, we probably are a Div 3 team.
Yeah, agreed.
I think if we had a couple of bigs, put a couple of big guys, you know what I mean by that, like
Totally. Some
we get
real
a 7-footer, big guy, Shaq. I think we'd be off to Div 2.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'd agree with that, and I think it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. You have to start in Division 3, and hopefully, when these guys are choosing fringe Div 2 players, or maybe fringe Div 1, Div 2 players, maybe they look and go, do you know what? Because some Div 2 games are still just played in a sports hall. They're not a showcase.
That's why it's always really funny watching, like when I sit here sometimes, you sit here and you watch the away team walk in and you just see their face of like, oh, there's bleachers. Hang on, there's 150 people here an hour before a game. Oh, okay, and it starts filling, and again, it's a bit of a make or break. You see their faces and it's like, oh crap.
It's not for everyone, is it?
You see some of them crap it.
It's not for everyone. But yeah, no, exactly. So some of those players may look and go, I could play Div 2 or potentially Div 1 in a sports hall, or come and play Div 3 in front of 300-400 people. And in our 300-400 people, we've got the full spectrum of fan now. Like, originally it was a lot of parents, relatives, people associated with the club. But I've now got people I know attending who have no affiliation with any other aspect of the club. They're just turning up for their Saturday night basketball fix. And then the next bit that comes along is scouts, people from BBL side, someone coming down to have a look at a particular player, someone from university links that are coming down to scout players, scouts from other teams, like coming down to actually see what's going on in Portsmouth.
Well, when you think of like football and you go to, say, Portsmouth, how many people go to Pompey? They're dedicated, hardcore football followers. They follow that team, sure, but do they follow the league or everything? Are they really that into it? No, they like being there. They like the atmosphere. They like the community spirit. They like everything like that. And that's what, looking around today, you see it. There's the community aspect of it.
Yeah, one of my not biggest disappointments, one of my disappointments this season was GSD Bognor having to pull out.
Yeah.
Because I was all up for away travel, like putting on our first coach, and like see if we could get 50 away fans.
It's 20 minutes, isn't it?
It's just down the road. Yeah. I mean, and there's no one else locally I know, because GSD tried the whole bleacher game day experience like we did. So I'm not sure they've quite had what we had, but they certainly had the bleachers.
It definitely did work for the first season or 2 seasons. They were getting numbers down there, and it was a great atmosphere. It was, I think, when we came in, that's when I think they were getting less people. And I remember last season we turned. Did you go to the away game?
No,
Oh, it's your brother.
Yeah.
Your brother was there, and we turned up, and I think there was probably maybe 30 or 40 of us down there, but it was like, well, hang on, there's more of us cheering for the away team here. And I think that was the first game of the season last season.
Right.
And then you go to this season, and I mean, you could see the quality had gone downhill.
Right.
So
it's a shame. It's always a shame you see teams dropping out. I mean, like
not to get their players though. That's always a bonus.
Yeah. I mean, we got Jordan. That's right.
I'm fuming with Kent Panthers honestly today, and the notice of it. And like whenever a team pulls out like GSD, it's infuriating. But I understand firsthand how hard it is to run a basketball team in a league like this and get everything to work. And I'm sure it's the last thing that Dave at GSD wanted to do was pull the team out. The absolute last thing. He probably had lost sleep over pulling out. And I'm hoping Kent Panthers would have lost sleep this weekend over not being able to put a fixture. Because I would hate to be on the other side and go into the away side and going, oh, sorry guys, we're not going to send a team to you tomorrow. whether they add spectators and tickets or not. Anyone, you don't want to cancel.
You're there to compete, aren't you? If it's, I mean, do they have any financial recompense for pulling out?
I actually don't know.
And you know, if they didn't, that's maybe why they could.
And if they haven't got the money there, like you can't get blood out of a stone anyway.
It's tough.
How many other teams have got ourselves?
No, I've not seen it.
You go to the gym and there's what, 10, 20 people?
Yeah, exactly. I went away to Crawley with the boys, and it's just a sports hall.
And they're going to win the league.
And they're going to romp the league.
Yeah.
They look brilliant. They had 4 real strong players who would walk into our starting 5.
Why when you were there, didn't you do some scouting yourself?
Bribery. See if I can bring some of these players down.
So would you like a trade?
Yeah, that's the next step actually. Can I get to actually trade players, turn into basketball manager, to see if I can pull something off?
So is the financial impact, is it a punch that, the port we can roll with?
So there's 2 aspects to that. As on an individual basis, it's really hard to take. And if you were to prepare accounts purely for this Portsmouth Force div-free side, it would put put the club out of business if it was just a div-free side. We don't generate enough money through ticket sales because we want to get the fan base increased, and we wouldn't be able to afford for away travel to the next game. But the second side of it is our junior section is thriving, and Chris West has just finished his crowdfunding campaign, which was huge. Like he came to me originally, I think I'll be able to get us a couple of grand out of a crowdfunder. Are you happy with me to start this project? And I've always, I'm not precious about this basketball club. Like anyone who wants to help, you'll come and help, come and join
amazing.
in. It's more of that community, more of that family. Chris West managed to generate best part of £9,000. £9,000 for the club. Now, some of that has to go back to fund the items he has to purchase to fulfil people's pledges, like the blue tees with the gold on and the backpacks, and he has to pay for those. But there's still a massive surplus in the club. So to answer the question, can we roll with a grand loss today? Yeah, we're fine.
Okay. I got another question. When we're talking about merchandise as well, Rob, we need to show you something. Hang on. Just rolling up my jumper.
What, your team pants?
Oh, wow. Look at this.
You got team pants?
Talking basketball
podcast T-shirts.
They're great. I love them.
They are for sale for £250.
What do you do? Do you guys sell them online? Are you selling them online?
We probably will at some point, yeah. When I pull my finger out, yeah.
We've got.
I'll add it to the list, Rob. You know how it goes.
We got rumblings of a venue that may be a stockist for our club merch.
All right, nice.
So we might have somewhere in Southsea that will permanently have Portsmouth Force merch, so people can go on and grab it. So I won't reveal it yet, but it's in the works.
Well, that sounds very interesting indeed. I mean, look, things like merch and stuff, it's worth saying there's a reason that you see music artists now, the YouTubers, all the people who rely on a social base. There's a reason that they push the merchandise. It really does make a difference
for sure
to topping up the coffers.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about the court costs and stuff like that, we've also got travel costs, insurances, all those sort of things. They all add up really quickly. So the numbers you're talking about sound like, you're doing all right. That's a good bit of money. You go, yeah, that's gone in a second.
Oh, it's peanuts.
That just gets chewed up in a minute.
Yeah, if you actually, and the accounts are readily available. Anyone can have a look on Company's House and see through. We run it not for profit. We make no money.
And did anyone else just see our new player just hit a halfway line shot?
That was a half-court shot, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah. I saw that.
Lucas, what's his name?
I think so. I think he hit it. I just saw that in the corner of my eye.
Let's go, Lucas.
As that went up, one of the kids fell over, so I just looked at the kid falling over. But yeah,
I like the way the kid fell over and then did the worm to make it look like it was deliberate.
It does make a difference, Rob, doesn't it? That you have. I mean, you when you came on the podcast earlier, you said about how it's been restructured. So for non-profits to allow Sport England, Basketball England stuff to be able to get more assistants involved and stuff like that.
Absolutely. It's so important to me to make sure that we're building something for the community and not for the shareholders or the directors. It's not about that.
So what tasty tidbit have you got to share for us, Rob? Because you know we like a tasty tidbit.
What tasty tidbit?
Hey, every time we talk to Rob, we get an exclusive.
He gives us a little
I
something,
haven't
doesn't
got.
he?
Like, I want to tell you.
He's like a perverse dealer of knowledge,
Oh,
and
he's
he's just
got
like
something.
look at him
I
smiling
haven't-
away.
He's just about to say, yeah, Burger King.
Literally,
just
it's on the
sign him
tip.
or
It's on the
something
tip of the tongue, isn't it?
There's a deal which we've touched on, where the Highbury College deal is still rumbling on, and I'm so close, but I can't underestimate. It's massive. It's massive for the club. If that goes the way that I expect it to go, then we're talking about securing basketball and quality basketball in Portsmouth for like forever, for decades.
Mark is now literally crying with laughter because Rob used the word massive. He's gone. You said it's massive and he lost it. Last time you did that on the podcast,
Yeah.
you guys laughed for first 10 minutes.
I do like a giggle.
You know what I did
So
like?
inappropriate.
I like the way that whilst all this is going on, you've got our mascot Blue is just mucking around.
Yeah,
I saw him run in that cupboard. I've not seen him come out.
he's been out. He's been on his knees most
Is
of
this
the
where
day.
they do like the David Brent move and they walk down and going, "You're on the team. You're on the team. You're on the team. You're on the team."
Oh, this
Someone's
is great to see,
jealous.
though. This is great to see. So we've got Portsmouth Force lined up against a selection of under 14 to under 10 players, and the kids are interacting with our players to pick sides or pick their favourites. Alex Grant's just been selected. Here we go.
Victor Babalola, he's gone.
He's gone. He's been drafted. Who's going to be the last? I wonder if Lucas, what's his name, is going to be the last drafted.
He's an unknown.
He's an unknown, right? They don't know who they're
They're
picking.
going to go for their favourite. Israel Bello. He's gone.
I'm going to put you on the spot now, Rob.
Yeah.
What player has impressed you the most so far this season?
So I've got a soft spot for Ollie Blake and what he's done for Portsmouth College. So part of what we need as a community is more basketball players helping with the coaching. So whether that's Portsmouth College in a like semi-professional role, or whether that's fun and fundamentals, or whether that's a CVL or National League level, these guys to step up and go, do you know what, I'm going to help with the junior setup and go and help coach. You know, there's no, you know, when you used to play, there's no substitute for a 20-something-year-old player coming and helping coaching. Whether they're
No way.
they
No,
know,
no.
in a kid's eyes, they know way more than the 50-year-old experienced coach that's talking to them. Way more, because they're 25-year-olds and dynamic, and
They can relate to it.
they can relate to
Yeah.
it. So
You
I've-
get the immediate respect as well because they're looking like, wow, like I'm watching you play. And look, let's be straight to the point. Ollie is pretty solid. He's a solid, safe pair of hands, bringing the ball up.
plays great D.
He is an amazing defender. I think he is one of the unsung heroes of our defensive capabilities. And yeah, he is that natural leader on and off the court. Like I've come to some of the
For sure.
sessions and just listened to him, and it's just like, you know what? I think he's a fantastic captain.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if when kids see players hustle, you hope that they then bring the hustle. If players stand around, hands on hips, play soft D, then what are the kids going to do? They're going to do exactly the same thing. So no, if I had to pick did you use the word favourite? I don't want to use the word favourite, but I've got a soft spot for Ollie and what he brings to the community. And when all the players listen back to this podcast and go, Rob picked out Ollie. You want
Yeah.
me to pick you out?
Yeah.
Come join in at Fundamentals every
Yeah.
Sunday morning. Come down, show your face.
Oh, I see. I like the bribery aspect of that. Yeah.
Come down. You could be my favourite.
If you want to be employee of the month, put in an extra shift.
Come get involved at a session.
We should give Ollie a little plaque.
It's I mean, just looking at the team, that is a very different dynamic from last year. It's a very different dynamic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So even some of the same players, but some of the players from last season have actually performed differently, better or worse, maybe from last season to
Yep.
this season.
Yep.
And then we've got like the new wave of players coming into the squad.
Yep.
and it is what it is.
Well, I think you got to mention. I mean, obviously Alex having an injury is one big hit.
Yep.
Yeah.
But in the same way, Morgan didn't really get to play last season.
No.
Morgan Brown didn't get much time with his injury.
Yeah.
This season, he's stepped up with defence. And
we lost
minutes
the
are
shooting
going up.
touch without Zachary Abbey as well, didn't we?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we lost that sort of outside shooter, which we haven't played to that strength this year.
I really enjoy. I mean, obviously, Jordan Walker. His scoring ability speaks for itself. But personally, I really like the injection and the physicality and I guess explosiveness of Israel Bello and Victor Babalola. Those two guys, they're just strong and aggressive, and they're the kind of players
definitely.
that I enjoy watching.
Yeah, I agreed. Full of energy. Just
You need that
quickly
energy.
Touching on Jordan Walker and going back to the word I've used a couple of times in community. Do you know Jordan's family comes pretty much every game. His mum's here. They all come. His sister or his niece is here, wants a shirt.
That's awesome.
She wanted a shirt with Jordan's number on. I was like, can I buy a...
That's quality.
so that's what we're talking about, a family. And so they all embrace it. They're all in on Portsmouth Force. So yeah, brilliant addition to the team. Really, really good addition.
Yeah, that's very, very cool.
You know what, Rob, you need to do now is just go down the road, see if we can tempt some of the Kestrel players to come over.
We're an attractive place to play basketball. There's no two ways about it. We won't rush these things, but I'm pretty confident over the next 2-3 years we'll see. And I'm not shaming any of these players, but we'll see a higher standard of basketball player playing here in front of us at Ravelin. It will just slowly progress the way that it will just progress. It has to.
Blue is back and Blue's on the floor. Why is he lying on the floor?
He's always lying down.
You know what it reminds me of? Do you know when you're in NBA games and you sometimes you can just watch the mascot getting up to mischief?
Yeah.
That's what Blue reminds me of now.
Yeah.
He does sometimes, I don't know what the word is, he takes the limelight sometimes and you focus on him sometimes when the game's going on.
Yep. It's a great shout. He's awesome. Yeah, no, we've got a lot of time for Blue. Although it must be hard. It looks like he wants to dribble with those big paws.
Yeah. So let's talk about that then. That's another subject we can talk about. The mascot. So
yes.
Since we were talking about maybe having a mascot, what your thoughts are. You're always quite positive. Yeah, let's do it. Look, Blues now, I mean, how many games are in? 4 home games, 5 home games? Yep. Right decision, yeah?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. We need to have all of these things tick the boxes. And, the mascot has given an air of professionality and an air of, maybe merchandisable stuff. All these ideas are going through your head off the back of a mascot.
I couldn't believe he was 67.
Yeah, no, exactly. And when you come to watch a basketball game, if you don't really love basketball, you need those little distractions. And that's sometimes you guys in the corner with your music and your jingles. Blue is that, right? So in fact, I reckon if you look around, you'll probably be able to see a few of the kids or people, and they'll be watching Blue fall around like he is at the moment, and not what the players are doing on the court.
A bit like the Arizona Cardinals jumping over the Eagles, isn't it?
Oh, don't.
I want to talk about that.
Oh, I'm heartbroken.
Shall I say Seahawks instead? Or
Do you know
that
the last time Philly looked good was when they played the Buffalo Bills. I was at that game. It was amazing. It was torrential rain in Philadelphia, and I managed to secure one of the only seats undercover. I sat there, watched the game. It's the best game. They went to overtime, won with a walk-off touchdown in overtime, and then since then they've been absolutely garbage.
So they're second in the Eastern Conference, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get second. I think that'll go to Dallas this weekend. Pains me to say.
For those who haven't listened to Rob's previous podcast, he secretly admitted that the NFL is his first love.
Yep. It's not a secret.
So I had to laugh then. We have a spectator that did a cartwheel and challenged Blue to do it. Blue then did it, and I thought his spine had broken. Oh, he's now,
Yeah,
Blue's now
Blue.
doing the work.
Let's go, Blue.
He's having a dance off. I love it.
Oh dear. Oh, I should be filming that, but yeah, missed out on that one. Anyway, right. So,
Have you seen what's happened now? Like Daniel's or Coach Fatima Day has obviously called a break in the session, and it's disintegrated into Force players joining up with kids, and they're playing on all 4 baskets. Alex Grant's down there over there with Sonny Hughes, is it?
look,
And Ollie's around. Morgan's down here playing against 2 of our Fun and Fundamentals players. Have you seen this? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
Blue. How you doing?
Blue is in front of the chairman.
You got anything to say for the people on the podcast?
Silence.
Inspirational.
Silence from Blue. You know what I like about Blue is sometimes he is almost performing for himself, and I want to say it's either a comedy genius or he could be a psychopath.
But, I mean,
He's
in our
doing
day,
it
they'd
some,
have given
like-
him Ritalin, I think.
Somewhere between the two.
He's like, he's like, he doesn't care if anyone's watching. I'm going to do this little bit of comedy for
But
myself.
at a game, someone's always watching, and that's the thing, isn't it? If you got the mascot, you got everything going on around. People are always seeing what's going on. Everything's going on. It's not just look at the game, however much the basketball players think.
Hey, he's great. Absolutely great.
So, Rob, we've only got 3 home games left now, right?
Yeah, or is it 2?
What?
Because the Cougars have pulled out, didn't they?
No. So,
We got the next
so there
game
are
is Brighton Bears.
11 teams in the league.
Yep,
2 have pulled out.
yep,
We've had 5.
yep. I know we got a little gap, haven't we?
No, sorry, we've had 4. These guys have pulled out, so we should have 3. We should have Crawley, Canterbury,
Yes.
and the Brighton game.
That's right. Yeah, 3 games left.
So, and you know what? Look, 2 of those games going to be tough.
That game against Crawley is going to be absolutely huge. Canterbury are flying as well,
Yeah.
but they're 2 really big games.
Yeah, I think, look, I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. For any kind of opportunity to go up this season, we need to be looking at getting something from those games, right?
Yes, although there's a restructuring, isn't there, of Div 3
Yeah.
next year, and I don't know the full ins and outs of that, how the restructuring is going to sit and how it's going to affect us. But yeah, to get traditional promotion,
Yeah.
we need something out of those games.
You know what I'm looking forward to is the injection of the youth. Like, you know, when we've been setting up the National League teams under 18, 16, working out, it's that injection of players that I'm looking forward to seeing. And I think it's that injection of players that we really need. Because, and I don't mean it the way I'm going to say this, but when it comes to the university side of things, it could go either way. You could get an
Yep.
absolute dominant team. Like, I want to say, I think just before COVID, the Portsmouth University team that they had was the best university team I think I'd ever seen.
Is that with Tim Gilmore?
They were dominating Div 1. They absolutely destroyed it. I've also seen other university teams where it's like, man, these guys really can't play.
Yeah.
And hopefully the club is gonna.
Again, that comes
Guess
down to
attract
recruitment,
those
doesn't it?
players.
It's
Yeah.
that recruitment for the Bucks League and the recruitment for our team. It's really hard to know what's going to happen, which is why you're right. You need the youth infrastructure, and you need that player to come through.
The core, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely come through and have a player who's going to, play from 18 through to 35 and become. There's a legend somewhere in Portsmouth that's not touched
Listen,
the floor yet.
Paul said he's willing to put a shirt on for you.
Yeah, exactly. I played with Paul the other week. Paul still plays hard.
Hey, you know what? I played a game. This was my first, like, because I've had a lot of injury with my knee and stuff like that. I came back, my first game playing Div 1, and I don't know what happened, but the coach for the other team went, "Oh, you're trying to trip up one of my guys," and I thought, "What's he going on about tripping up?" And I didn't really get it. And my brother like, "Looked like you tried to trip him up," and I really didn't. Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, very next game, that coach was the referee for our game.
Right.
And one of the opposition got round. And I don't know why, but that whole thing popped in my head and I tripped him up.
That was a funny game.
And it was like, anyway. Yeah, that was disgraceful.
Actually,
he came up to me and went, "You're so dirty. You're still so dirty." It's like, "Oh, okay."
There's some news on the Saba Div 2 men's side, our Portsmouth Force coaches side. So we played a game about 6 to 8 weeks ago. I'm not sure if you played against Southampton Mimillo, where the court was unfit to play. The venue had a leak. Because the venue had a leak, the game got abandoned in the first quarter. It was just unplayable. It was unsafe. As a result, Southampton Mimillo got the win somehow, or the game was voided and we couldn't replay it. As it turned out, because of another team pulling out in the cup competition, Southampton Mimillo were going to automatically get to the final
Without playing
a game.
Wow.
So we've had a message from Saba this week to say that even though that was technically the right result, what we're going to do is replay Southampton Mimillo against Portsmouth Force coaches on the 19th of January. And it's in the league anyway, because it's a scheduled league game, and we're all going to double it up as a cup game. So if we win that league game, then Portsmouth Force coaches get through to the final of the Saba 2 Cup in their first season.
Wow.
Random.
Hey,
Yeah, that's random.
That is mental that a
That's
team
random.
cannot play and get to a final of a cup.
Yeah,
I mean,
that-
jeez. They were like, "Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have given you that loss for not playing. Just play the game." But that'd be great.
All credit to Saba. It's hard to get the infrastructure right, and they have to find a solution, and they found a solution. But let's take it for what it is. We can get to a final. Doesn't matter how you get there. Everyone moaned about Pompey when they got to the FA Cup final. They didn't play anyone or beat anyone. Doesn't matter.
I would love to see the crowd
Jordan
here.
Walker just hit from the halfway line.
I'd love to see the crowd here when there was a playoffs or a final scenario.
I've said it before, like
not
playoff
had that
final
moment,
or
have
that
we?
buzzer beater.
Something where there's a game where it's like not just that it means something, but there's something on the line for that game.
I've saying to
have,
the kids
actually.
when the kids are around on the back, the only reason they're messing around with their basketballs behind the bleachers is because they're not fully engaged in the game. But there
Right.
will be that moment where all the basketballs stop and there's silence in the sports hall because
Yeah.
everyone is like, this game is really important.
We have had that moment. Unfortunately, I don't know if there was an issue with the score.
Right.
So it was a buzzer beater. It was 86-83. Portsmouth were down, and it was Zach Riabi hit a 3 at the buzzer to go into overtime. But the score didn't get updated. I remember like 40, 50 people walked out. And then it was like, "Oh no, it is overtime."
Yeah.
But
Oh, I
because
do
of that,
remember.
we lost the moment.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember, yeah.
Yeah. That was. We have had it, but again, that we were just starting. Everything was still. We were working it all out, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like the music
absolutely.
and stuff.
We're still learning. We're still growing.
I did have my eye out for Coach Daniel Fatimade, but I've lost where he is. I was going to get him on. I've lost him.
Snuck off.
Hey, I can see one of a big listener, one of our big listeners from the start, Mark, is Elliot Bridgman over there. We should get him on.
Do you know who you should get
Yes,
on?
sir.
Have you spoke to Chris West?
Yeah.
Have you had him on?
Is he here?
He was here. He might have gone off now, but what he's done. I know I've mentioned his name before on that crowdfunder, but as the basketball community grows, we have coaches. Almost everyone invariably is a coach or has played at some point, and then it splinters off. And like we've got you guys doing this amazing PA DJ type thing on a game day that's not holding a basketball, doesn't involve the actual basketball. And now we've got people like Chris who is contributing in the community and doing a crowdfunder and doing merch and doing communication with people that doesn't involve a basketball. You realise that it's not all about basketball. It can just be like, I don't know how to play the game, I've never bounced the ball, but I'm willing to help.
There are a lot of unsung heroes. A lot of people in the pipeline making the cogs go round.
I see we've got Ross Needham. He's over there with his boy, Robbie. and we've just been trying to work out the date for the fun day in the summer. I don't know if did you guys come to the fun day that Baffin's basketball court?
Yeah, well, it's like a massive barbecue, wasn't it?
Yeah, massive. Yeah, we're going to do that again
Who
this
else
year.
has a massive barbecue and 300 people turn up?
We do. No one else does. We do.
I can
Not in
see
Baffin's.
Coach Dan strolling this way. Rob, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No,
'Cause I'd really like to get Dan's
Yeah,
thoughts
for
on
sure.
today.
Yeah, we've had enough of my voice. I'm just so grateful that we managed to get some pluses out of what was for me last night just a horrible, stressful,
Yeah.
frustrating period of time. So yeah, I'm overjoyed. Thank you for having me on, guys.
That's all right, mate.
Fist bumps.
But thankfully, you've got sponsorship on the team. People like on your jersey right now.
Yeah,
And
I'm going
they,
down to Croxton's for a burger after
That's
this.
right.
actually.
We still haven't had one of those
Don't forget
famous
that milk.
burgers yet,
You
have
have
we?
to come down.
We're waiting for.
We're working on the new menu at the moment.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Oh, I like the way you pat your belly as you say we're working on the menu.
I'm so hungry. I was like, we will go out and get food soon, guys. Right, I'm going to go send
Can
Daniel
you
Fatman
do
over
me
you.
a big favour and see if you can get Coach Dan to
Yeah,
give us
on
a few
it,
words?
on it.
You can just shake your head and say you don't want to do it. If you leave your stuff there.
Can I not be a roving reporter?
Oh, you can. You can.
Be a raving something, mate.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
All right,
Catch you
cheers,
later, bro.
Rob. There you go. That was Chairman
Mr. Chairman.
Rob Milner there. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. That is the end of this part. But do not worry, because coming soon is the second part of this episode, and it will be available soon.